Welcome back. Today I've decided to try Puzzle Rush Survival once more. I tried it a few days ago and had a pretty poor outing, and I'm going to try it again as part of my daily chess development. If you're new to my channel, I'm not a titled player or chess coach. I'm just a random person trying to get better at chess. Hopefully this will help with that, and hopefully you'll get something out of this as well. I'm just going to click play. Usually these take a long time. My last one didn't because I didn't get very far, but I will try to cut out all the unnecessary pauses and or repetitions. All right, I think I have checkmate on the back rank after they block. Okay, usually the first few are pretty easy checkmates. Like, is this checkmate? They can't move out, and I don't think they can block. I will pause just a little bit on those to make sure that it's a checkmate, but this one is not a checkmate, but it looks like if I'm playing with the white pieces, they've just given me their queen. Let me make sure before I take it that they have legal moves. They have plenty of legal moves, so it's got to be that. I'm not sure why they gave me the queen, and here I have a checkmate on the back rank. The reason that I mentioned editing out, repetitions and pauses and stuff, so if you later, especially on the longer puzzles, the harder ones that take me a while, if you see some weird cuts, that's what that's about. I'm trying to cut out places where I said the same thing over and over. This looks like checkmate because their king cannot move because of my other knight, so I think that's a mate in one with two knights with the help of some of their pieces. This also looks like checkmate in one because my bishop is protecting that square. Nothing else of the opponents can get there. What about this? Is that mate in one? No, because they can move over. But then I would have a mate in one over there on f7. So queen to d7 I think is safe, and then they move over and that's mate. Oh, they just took something in front of my king. That means I probably have a mate right over here. Yeah. g7? Well, I'm just making sure none of their pieces can capture my queen there. Okay. Looks like they're about to head through this way, but probably have something, like that's a check. But here, they move, and then I have to check again. Oh, I would have mate right there. Oh my. Okay, that's why it's low rated. Okay. Oh, they blocked. All right. Oh, and it didn't go on to mate. They had to move forward before I checkmated them. Man, I was about to get stumped on that, but this one is easy. What? Oh, I guess a bunch of people would take the knight with check, but I have mate right there. Pretty sure. Okay. Oh, we've got a pawn race. I'm pretty sure it's not the a-pawn. That's one I'm going to eliminate immediately because the a-pawn can't go anywhere. So I basically have to take this pawn and then run with that one, I think. Or do I run with that one first? But I'm not going to be in check when they promote because that's not a check no matter what piece they promote to. So if I move and they move and I move and they move and I move and they promote, but I promote with check. So they have a queen down here, but it's not checking anything and I'm checking them. So that tells me that at some point in this pawn race, they're probably going to move their king. I don't know where, but they need to move it off this diagonal and then I'll promote first, but they're still going to promote then on the next turn. So it seems like I actually will win this pawn race because again, they'll be in check when I promote unless they move the king, which slows down their pawn. So that seems okay to me. But what about taking here? Is there a downside to that? If I take that pawn, they still can't get to mine, and they can't push this one forward because my king is sitting right there on f5. So they would have to bring their king, and then I would push my pawn, and then they would push their pawn. If I've counted that correctly, I shouldn't take that pawn. But that's a lot of bleeping counting, so I'm gonna move my pawn. Hopefully this is right. It was not. All right. Well, I guess I should have taken the pawn then, and I messed up my counting somehow. All right. That was frustrating. Spent all that time on it and still get it wrong. I think I should take the rook with the knight. Okay. That one seemed pretty straightforward once I saw where all the pieces were. Black pieces. Well, this one's a little tricky, isn't it? Well, I mean, I can go aim at that pawn with my bishop. That might be something else I would consider in a game. If they move it forward, I'm going to take it. Then they'll run and I'll run, and I think they're going to get checkmated pretty soon. But I have no idea. That's what I'm going to play. Yeah, it was wrong. Okay. Sorry. There was no point in continuing to look at it if that's all I could see. When we get to the end, we will look at all these, the ones that I missed, and try to see what we should have played instead. Here I do have a check, but I think they would just come toward it. And then, I don't know what I would do after that. Okay, I have a check here too, but they have way too many ways to take back over there. All right, well, I'm going to check with the bishop. Oh, that was right. Yeah, see, I don't have anything now. I mean, because bishops and knights don't move that way. That's not a check. Can't quite get my queen over there. What if I just moved my queen up one and I'm threatening mate? What do they play? Well, I don't know what they play, so I'm going to do that. Oh, that was right. I didn't think of that. They've blocked me here. I guess I could just take it. If they take my queen, then I'll take their queen too. But then my knight's hanging. So should I take their bishop then? Oh, it was that. Well, now I can take this pawn for free and then not go there. Or what if I just took this pawn? Would that be okay? Or take the queen? Which is it? The pawn's free, and that's a check. Oh my. You can probably tell by the way that I'm talking about the puzzles and the way that I'm kind of rushing on a couple of them that my brain is getting tired. It's been a while since I've gotten this far. I am still trying to stick with the checklist, like looking for checks. And this one, I think my only safe check is here on h5. My bishop's cutting off squares. My queen would be hitting all of these. My pawn's cutting off squares. So they would only have 2 moves if I checked on h5. If they came over to the G file, I would have the follow-up check with the rook, which I think might be mate. And if I checked here on h5 and they just moved forward 1, then I could come forward 1 with my queen and they would have some serious problems. They would have to come down there and then I could swing across and they would have to come in here. Oh, and then I could check with the bishop and I think they would have to take with the rook and then I would take the rook with my queen. That seems really complicated. Let's try it. Oh, it was that. Well, then is it this? And now is it this? Or is there something else? Oh boy, that's what I planned. Oh, and that's what they did. Where do they go if I check with the bishop? Because they can't go to any of these squares because of the king. Oh, they could just move over. But then I would get I wouldn't get the rook. That would be bad. Yeah, if I check with the bishop, they don't actually have to take, which would be good for me, I think. If I check with the bishop, they can just move over. But then I can move the pawn, and that's check. All right, let's check with the bishop. Oh, it was. That one seemed so obvious, but it wasn't that. But I don't mind failing these two. That's 1900 and 2000 rated puzzles. Those are always hard. Let's look at the first one that I missed, which was one with the pawns. I eventually decided that if I took this, they could still force this pawn past, so I should move the pawn. And that was wrong. So I'm guessing I should have taken their pawn. They did move that. But they moved it to the wrong place. Hey, for all I know, Stockfish says this was the best move for them right here. But I calculated all that based on the fact that they would come here to protect their pawn's path. If I thought they were going to come here, I would have known I was going to win this race. Oh, they were getting out of the way of that pawn. I'm still going to win the race though. But the difference is now I'm going to be in check when they promote. Yeah, I did not calculate that at all because I had no idea. But if I move and they move and I move, when I push my pawn and they push their pawn, I push my pawn and they push their pawn, and I promote, they haven't yet promoted, so I won't have to worry about the check. Well, then if I thought they were going to do that, come on. After my opponent moves this, okay, it's definitely my best move to take this, but what if they had played the variation that I considered? Oh, it actually says c4 is their best move. And king to d6, which is what they played, isn't even in the top 5. Oh, king to d5. That's what I said they would play. But it says I would still be winning. But what if they win here? And then I would push my pawn, and then I calculated that they would check here. And it says my best move is just to move over 1. Really? Okay, well, I never would have guessed that. And now their best move is to push the c-pawn, not this one. Well, I don't understand chess at all. All right. This was how low rated was this? 855 rated puzzle. And I still don't understand it. I mean, I know now that I can take this, and if I do, they weren't going to make the move that I thought they were going to make at all. So the rest of it's really obvious. Like, yeah, if I had any inkling that that's what they would have played, I would have just done that. So my question, I guess, that I need to ask is why was it wrong for me to move the pawn after they played this? Why is this bad? Because now they're way ahead because of here and here and here and here. And when they promote and I promote and they're in check, they're just going to get out of check and I can check them again and they can just get out of check. But why are they so far ahead? Is it because they have all those extra pawns and all they have to do is force a queen trade at some point? I thought me promoting with check was important, but yeah, apparently I don't understand chess at all. What was the other one that I missed? 1929. This one, I couldn't come up with anything, so I went after that pawn, right? Well, as I said, that's the only thing I could think of, so what's the hint? Oh, I have to move my king. I never would have thought of that. All right, I moved my king, and they just ran away. Okay, well, I did that. Now what? Do I move my king again? I don't know. Yep, oh, it was. I guessed it. But I was just joking, because I had no idea why I would want to move my king again. But I did. And they checked me. Let me guess, I need to move my king again. Oh wait, should I move the bishop this time? Maybe? Well, that was it. And I won. Let me restart this. So the best move was to move my king over, because after that I wanted to go over again. Okay, I'm really not pretending to be dull-witted, I promise. And I do normally consider myself a relatively intelligent person. And so like here, I think I understand a few things about this puzzle or this position. Like for one thing, I understand that I have 2 advanced passed pawns. And I understand that this one's defended right now, which is why they're not taking it. I understand it's defending the other one. Their king can't move right now because the pawn's guarding those squares. My king's guarding this square. I mean, they could move one up, but maybe that's what they should have done. I don't know. Once I get my king over there, they can't. So I understand, at least I think that I understand that this is one of my hugest advantages, is protecting those pawns. But I don't understand how this does that. And if at some point they were supposed to sacrifice their rook for the other one, then why don't they do that when I move my king over? And I don't know if that's what I would have expected them to do, because I don't know if that's a good move or not. I don't know if there was something else that they maybe should have done, like come over here and attack my bishop. And now that they've done that, which I may or may not have expected before I moved my king, but now that they have done that, I need to move my king again. And I'm guessing that that's because that helps protect this other pawn and it keeps their king from moving. So let's say I did that, and then I think I would have expected them to check there, because what else can they do? And it makes sense to block the check, not to move the king again, because if I moved the king again, would they just go back to the corner? I don't know, because I don't understand that. So blocking the check made sense, but I don't understand why I'm winning. Let me know why those are good moves. Let me rephrase. It's not just that they're good moves, apparently. The puzzle says that they are. I guess the question that I have is, how would I determine that this is a move that would be attractive to me in this position? Because none of the criteria that I can think of lead me to do that. Next one. I missed one more. It was 2022. Not the year, but the rating of the puzzle. In this one, the opponent moved their king forward, inexplicably. And I got a bunch of moves right in this puzzle, didn't I? Like 4 of them. Like I think I got this one right. And then I got this one right. That one made a lot of sense, because you want to get close if you can. And then this one made a lot of sense. So I did that, and then I messed up. That was wrong. Was it checking with the bishop back here? Because then if they blocked, I would just take, right? Or surely they wouldn't take with the queen. I mean, they might, because they do that in puzzles, and Stockfish says, yep, that was their best move. But I wouldn't expect an opponent to take with their queen there, so they would just move over. And I think we already mentioned that if they moved over, I would push a pawn and they would be in check. So maybe that's better. Oh, it was that. Oh, and they did take with their queen. It's a good thing I mentioned that, how silly that would have been and how I wouldn't have expected it. Well, and that's what happened. So why was the other bishop move bad? That's what I need to know. Before I check with the bishop, this one's bad. No, that one's okay. I'm still winning if I do the other bishop check, according to Stockfish. So I'm not dull-witted. And they would take here, and then I would take with my queen. But now they get the pawn. Yeah, they're going to get the pawn. And then... oh, see, I would have found this, because that was my instinctive move. Because now they have to drop back one, don't they? I mean, they have some choices. Oh, it suggests blocking with the bishop is okay. But their best move is just to go back one. But then wouldn't I swing up here with the... ooh, I would have messed up here. I would have swung up one with the queen. I mean, up 2. Because that seems like a safe square, but that's not even a possibility. What? No way. It has to be g5, and that's... what am I going to... What's wrong with this? The white is winning now. Okay, well, if it had gone that way, I definitely would have failed. But that makes me feel better that this was not a losing move. It's still winning. It's just not made in 35 like the other one. So some part of me needs to instinctively learn that this one is just barely winning, and this is made in 35. Okay. I'm joking. Obviously, no human's going to find mate in... oh, it's 32 now. Wait, back up. It said 35 a second ago. Now it says 33. All right, 32. And it was their best move to take with the queen. If they don't, it's mate in 4. All right. Well, again, this part I understood. If I had expected them to take with the queen, I definitely would have done that. Well, hopefully you got something out of this. I'm not sure that I did, other than just forcing chess through my brain for a certain amount of time every day. But 35 is not horrible. It says it's my 6th best of all time. I'm okay with that. Thank you for spending your time here, and I'll see you next time.